What's up, superstars? Are you guys struggling with boring designs, don't know how to get started, or you're stuck on that design mental block? In this video, I'm gonna show you how easy it is to create top-notch designs specifically for DTF. I'm gonna be showing you guys how to do a color knockout easily using just one web-based program, which is gonna be Kittl. You don't need an expensive computer or a fancy graphic card to get these eye-popping designs. And I'm actually gonna be reaching out to Kittl to try to get you guys a free 30-day promo. So I'll try to include that link in below before this video gets released, but either way, you guys can mess around with it. It's free until you decide at the very end if you want that transparent background. It's just worth it just to dive in, mess around with it to see if this is going to be that one specific design tool that you can need in order to excel your clothing brand. So let's dive into Kittl and let's take a look at this. All right, guys, so first thing to do, let's go ahead and head over to Kittl. All right, so we have tons of videos on Kittl already. We're still learning new things, and every single time we're learning something related to a t-shirt design or new tool or tactic, we're gonna be sharing with you guys. So make sure you guys subscribe, watch the previous videos. But for this video, we're gonna specifically work on some color knockouts, something that usually we do on Photoshop, but we're gonna be doing on Kittl today. So let's go ahead and click on the t-shirt designs. This is not specifically just for t-shirts. You can look at any of the designs that are for hats or t-shirts, bags, anything, and actually create it or tune it up for the t-shirts. If you look through here, you guys can take a look at the rankings. These have been saved and liked so many thousands of times. These are kind of evergreens. The first two here that I'm always going to see these. You've seen a lot of YouTube tutorials with them, but they're great designs and a great template to start off with. So as you guys can look through here, there's relevancy here. If you guys want to skip any of that and you want to get straight to some popular designs, you can always sort by the most recent ones that have been uploaded. Or if you want the most popular, you just click on most used or even trendy. So if you click on most used, everything is ranked. This has been downloaded so many thousands of times and used. I would personally stay away from these designs because they're been used a lot by a lot of people already. I'd be surprised if you just Google search this image, how many times you see these on e-commerce sites. So even though they're the most popular, use it to get an idea of how you're going to be designing, but I would definitely try to change some of the elements. For this fallen angel here, you can easily use this template and change that angel to any of the other templates or designs that are out there. For a quick example, I'm just gonna jump in real quick since we're on this topic. I'm gonna give you guys a quick tip. So let's say this is the design that you want. You don't want to carry this specifically because it's been played out like crazy. So I would just go and delete that element. Actually, you don't even need to delete that element if you just click on this. Actually, this is deleted. So we're gonna go to elements, look at some shapes. You can see there's a bunch of things that Kittl offers that are out of the box and ready to go. I think I saw something pretty cool in illustrations the other day in the Y2K section. So I'm just going to click here and then let's go ahead and expand that so that you'll get more. And there are so many graphics here that even though I'm at the bottom of the page here, if you just wait a few seconds, it's going to load and you'll get more and more graphics. I really like the Y2K bundle because it's pretty attractive and the graphics and details are pretty cool. I am curious to see how these actually print as far as the way that these are done, but they're transparent, they're very detailed. Let's take, for example, this happy face right here. I clicked it, it said added, so let's just go ahead and click on X here, and there you go. I added that a happy face, just like so. If I want to just easily center it, I'll just go ahead and click on center like that. And boom, it looks pretty good. I just need to change the text and I'll be good to go. If I don't really like the way that this works, I can always go to like texture and I can add some pretty cool textures to this. So you can add like a grunge effect like that. It gives it a nice grunge. I think there's some like metallics, some marbling effect. Look at that. That looks like a marble now. I think it looks pretty good. And save your work because there's so many designs here that you're going to easily get lost and it's hard to find exactly what you're looking for afterwards. So again, click here, save the template. You can always revisit it afterwards. But here, this is the design that I just created from scratch. But let's go ahead and go back to the original page. We're going to go ahead and talk about knockouts. So let's say I'm going to go ahead and do like a lion design, and we're just going to see what type of lion designs that they have here. This can easily be a good candidate here. This looks like a pretty good candidate here. What I am looking for is something that is not super solid, but something that has a lot of specific colors. So I'm designing for a black t-shirt. So I'm looking for a design that has a lot of vibrant color, but also has a lot of black into it so that I can remove that black layer after I separate it into vector shapes. So let's go ahead and scroll and take a look at the design. So I like this one right here. Let's click on this one, download it and save it quite a bit of times. Not the most popular design, so I know this one hasn't been seen everywhere. I think this is a really good candidate that I'm going to be designing with. So here you go. Zoom in closer. Let's take a look. You've got a line design with watercolor, abstract shapes, color, a lot of color separation. You've got some effects that are like a grunge effect that's all around here that gives it like a nice vintage look. So I'm going to preserve that detail. So what you would do here is technically this image is ready to go. You can technically edit this basically and be able to create a design. So normally somebody would download this and remove the background. So let's just go ahead and click on the layers and let's just go ahead and expose some layers. I'm going to turn off the background. So if you were to just click on the download and click on the remove background, you would get this image here like this. This is technically what the image is without the background. The problem here is you've got this grunge vintage effect that's all around here. It's going to print. And when you put this on a black shirt, you're going to see this box that's all around. And that's not ideal into something that you want to do. So what I would do here is you would highlight this whole thing right here, and then you would highlight this whole thing here, and then you would go ahead and click on to, actually I'm going to go ahead and Control A, and let's see. Actually, I'm going to highlight the background. Let's drop this layer. All right, let's open up. I actually want to, so bear with me real quick, guys. I'm going to check something out. So this is a texture layer, but I do want to retain that texture that's on here. So I'm actually going to be clicking this out, and then I'm going to, let's see, where is the option for this? So let's just go ahead and click on the main image here. And all right. So let me turn on that background layer back on. So what I did wrong is I was trying to get to all the option menus here. So you actually want to click on this box right here, and this is going to come out with all these options now. I was trying to do a Control A to highlight the whole thing, but that didn't work. I didn't know why it didn't pop up. But what you're trying to do here is you're trying to, I think I can come back here, remove that background layer, and then you're going to go ahead and click on the clip content. So if you release the layer here, it's going to release that. I want to go ahead and Control Z to go backwards. And then I'm going to click back here. And then what I'm going to do is actually click on the clip content. So when you do that, it retains the gradient design on there, and that's what it does. You're able to retain that. I do see some shadowing that's happening right here. So you do want to fix that as you're going through this artwork, because you want it to be printable. So let's go ahead and remove, it's not the texture. All right, let me go ahead and check out the text shading. I think that, I don't know if that is what's happening. It's not the shading. All right, well, I wanted to remove this layer here. I'm not able to see the option, but I can actually fix it by doing the next step, which I'm going to be vectorizing the image. So all you're doing is you're clicking this image here. We're going to be clicking on the image vectorizer, and you're going to be separating the colors in this step. The most you can actually separate is going to be 16. So even if you want to do 30 and you click on vectorize, it's going to max you out at 16. What it's doing, it's separating all the colors in this image so that I can easily remove the darker colors that I want, since I'm going to be using a black shirt. It's going to alter the image slightly. It's going to make it a little bit different. So you're going to have to see if this works for you. But this is the only way to actually do a color separation and a black knockout using Kittl. So now that I've converted the image to vector shapes, it actually removes any of the shadowings that I was talking about earlier. So you guys can see right there, it's all shapes now. And then what I'm going to do here is, before I show you the magic of doing the black knockout, I want to kind of change some of these texts. So I'm going to easily show you guys how somebody would edit this without having to think too much about it. Let's throw on the background again. I'm going to go ahead and copy this text here because I want to change it. I'm going to go ahead and load up, let's say, a ChatGPT. And then I want to go rewrite this for a t-shirt slogan. And I'll just paste that. That's one. Let's say give another 20 options. Let's go with the first one, no turning back. Subtle, but different. Just showing you how easy it is to delete or edit your prints. And that they too much wording here and you want to just change it, you go rewrite this, make it motivational, and then I'm just gonna paste everything I got there. The soft stage where the dust settles, revealing the scars of action and the seed of transformation amidst the wreckage of once was. I'm just gonna copy part of this design here and then paste it there. So I just switched it up, it's different, and I'm happy with it. All right, so now time to do the color separation and layering. What you're going to be doing here is I'm going to be selecting the actual image, and then you can click on the hide color. It's just that easy. As you guys can see right here, this is subtle. I'm only doing the top darkest colors because I'm going to kind of use that to act as the black color. By removing this, it wasn't enough. I actually want it to be a softer feel, so I want more intensive of a black knockout. So this is the one I'm going to be doing. But I don't like how the grids are showing right there. So let's go ahead and remove or hide that grid layer. So let's do the knockout first. So click on the artwork, knock out that black, and then let's go ahead and see if I can stick on this layer, and then right click, bring backwards. Did that work? I actually don't like that grid. So that right there. There you go. Okay. So I think it looks pretty good. The black's been knocked out. There is some more black right here. I can do the same thing. It's technically not black, but again, I would knock it out because you want it to become as light as possible. Just like these right here, you can also knock out. So you can't knock it out like that, but if you actually go in here, ungroup it first, and then go to each one, you can simply knock it out. See, I accidentally moved that one, just simply knock it out. So boom, just like that. And if you guys are wondering why I kept some of the black here in the details here, is because I wanted to give more color depth so that it looks more real when you guys get it printed. So this is pretty much it. Black knockout. When I print this out, it's going to be nice, and you're going to see how it comes out. Let's go ahead and highlight this image. We can go ahead and expand it if we want to bring it to the edge of the artboard. This way you will get a better feel of the actual size that you're going to be using or printing. So click on that. You can shrink this artboard if you want to kind of get it closer, or you don't even have to do this. You can just go ahead and export it. You just want it as big as possible. But when you move this back right here, you are changing the grunge effect layer. So make sure that you're okay with that. And then you can easily click off the black layer if you need to, or the background. And this is everything that it's going to print. So we're going to go ahead and click download. Now I'm going to show you guys the settings that you want to use. Change the resolution to 300. We always want to use 300 DPI for your artwork. You can use pixels if you want to. I go with inches. It's easier for me to calculate things. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a 12-inch design. Let's go ahead and take a look again. Download 300. Change this again to a 12-inch design. It's going to be basically be 12 by 16, roughly about there. Once this is set, I'm going to go ahead and download it the way it is, like that. Boom, it downloaded. Now, the next thing that I can do here is you can use this same design if you're going to do a brand. You want to keep things consistent here. What I would do is, if you want to keep any of these and you just want to use this here, let's say you want to do like a neck tag, you can delete this. You can go here. You want to change it and make it like large. I can go ahead and bring this down a little bit since it is a little high. You can always use these actions to help you align like that. I can make it a little bit bigger. Okay, that looks pretty good, large. And yeah, this is a perfect neck tag size. I'm just gonna go ahead and download it. You can export it the exact same way if you need to. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it at 2 inches because that's the neck tag size I want. And I'll also leave it at background removed, like that. And then let's go ahead and download that artwork. That's how it looks. And then lastly, if you want to retain the same artwork, but you want to use this as, let's say, a pocket logo, I'm just going to go ahead and remove the rest of the additional things I don't want. Let's say these elements are not needed for the front pocket logo. I'm just going to do that. I kind of like that star design, so I'm just going to copy that over like so. Let's go ahead and lay it out like that. I think it looks pretty good. Let's make it a little bit bigger. I don't know. What do you think? I think it looks cool. Yeah, I'm fine with that. So let's go ahead and download it. I want these at 3.5 inches wide. It's about 3 by 4.5, which is fine. And let's just go ahead and download. This is going to be the pocket logo. Like that. Okay. All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and go to transfersuperstars.com. We have regular DTF transfers as well as UV DTF transfers for hard surfaces. In this particular case, we're going to go ahead and use DTF transfers. We're going to use our Gang Sheet Builder Pro. Now, there's different size options that's available. We're going to use the smallest size. It's only a $10 sheet, and that will help us get started today. Now, when you're in this builder, you're going to go ahead and head to the top left corner, and you're going to go ahead and upload your images. These are the 3 images that we're uploading today, and it's quite fast actually. And I'm going to start building around the biggest image. So this image that's taking the longest, most likely it's the largest image. So once you click that, you can see that it says it's overlapping. It's not fitting on this border here. So there are different options. You can increase the gang sheet size at that point if you need to, or you can simply do a rotation like so. Now that you're here, you can rotate it to any way that you want it to fit. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on the smaller images and lay those out. Let's say I want a few of or I want another one of that one, and then I want another one of that one, and that will work for my gang sheet. Let's see if another one of these would actually fit. So I don't know if it will fit. It's going to be a tight fit. If you want to, you can definitely move this over like so, and then fit another image. So let's bring it in. Let's maximize this gang sheet. We're going to click on duplicate. There you go. That's a good amount of prints that you're getting on this $10 sheet. Let's see if it'll fit on the 12. Oh, it overlaps just a bit right here, so we have room to adjust, and everything is within boundaries. We are good to go. We have a total of 8 prints. Now go ahead and click on save and add to cart. I always like to name these based off of the date that I used it. In case you need to reorder, you can always go back. Oh, so there's actually an item that's overlapping in the artboard that I did not catch. So let's go ahead and click on the minus sign right here. Oh, there you go. So let me see if is it possible to move this to the very edge? And then we're going ahead and scoot this back here. like so, and there. All right, perfect. I was still able to fit everything on that 22 by 12 sheet. Now let's go ahead and add this. Now there's no mentions of any overlapping or low resolution. We're good to go here. Click on the authorize, add this to the cart. You can choose either you want it shipped or if you want this to be picked up at our location, which usually gets ready in about 2 business days or less. We're very, very quick. So that's the process on ordering transfers. Let's go and take a look at how it comes out. Guys, we've got our 22 by 12 gang sheet ready. We've got a bunch of designs on here. It looks really scattered because of the black knockout, but that's where the magic's gonna come in place. And I'm gonna show you how all these are gonna turn out. But let's go ahead and flip it around so that we can break this down. So as you guys can see, it just looks like a bunch of scattered prints everywhere, but not to worry, it's gonna end up really good once we're done. So let's go ahead and break this down. I like to use this cutter so that everything is nice and straight. It makes aligning a lot easier as well. All right, there's extras. I'm just gonna keep that aside. We don't really need it. We're just gonna take what we need. All right, now let's go ahead and get our heat press set up so we can start pressing. Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and lay these transfers onto the t-shirt. This is gonna streamline the process to making things a lot easier. Technically, I can put the t-shirt onto the HTVRONT and measure it there, but because I have limited space and I'm doing a front, back, as well as a neck hit, I think it's beneficial to do the alignment prior to doing this on the heat press. So let's go ahead and lay down the front. This is gonna be a 3.5 inch wide design. I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a quick fold. That way I'll know exactly where the center. And I'm gonna go ahead and measure. We normally do about 4 inches down from the neckline as the center point, and then another 4 inches chest. And that'll give me this point. And that's usually where we put either the starting point or right in the center point. It really depends on preference, but for this one, we're gonna do that as a top starting point. So that's where we're gonna do the chest logo. Another way that people do it as well is they'll go from the top right here, and then they'll do 7 inches down. So that's the point that they would give me. So it's pretty close to there. Again, it is really up to you. It is your preference. So now let's go ahead and use our tape. Now these are pre-cut, so they're super easy to use. And we recently upgraded to the thicker ones. It just seems a lot easier to use again than the smaller ones. And it just stays in place a lot better, especially if you're doing front to back and things like that. So I think I'm pretty good there. Let's go ahead and turn this shirt around. Now from the top right here, I'm gonna go ahead and do roughly about 3.5 inches down. So let's go ahead and get the midpoint. We're gonna go ahead and do 3.5 inches down. Technically, I would advise to use a heat press pillow underneath here so that it wouldn't interfere, but I think I'm gonna be okay with it. It is going to clear the design because the top of the artwork actually starts from here and here. This is a little bit sloped, so I'm actually gonna be okay. Now let's just go ahead and center the design. There you go. I'm actually gonna start with the back of the shirt. Let's go ahead and pull out our heat press. I forgot to mention, we're using a HTVRONT 2. We're just testing this heat press out right now. We've actually done a recent heat press review test, so make sure that you guys watch that video if you guys haven't yet. So we're testing this out to make sure that it works well for DTF, and that's why we normally use our Prisma, but we're gonna use the HTVRONT 2 for this test. I'm actually gonna have to do this in 2 separate presses. As you guys can see, I'm limited by the 15 by 15, so this part is sagging out. So I'm going to actually be pressing this in 2 separate sections. All right, so now that everything is set, I'm going to open up the display so that it's closer to me. Here are the settings. I did want to mention, we normally press our transfers at only 300 degrees for 7 seconds. But because we found that this heat press had some cold spots into here, we had to compensate a bit by turning this up 25 degrees so that the bottom platen is actually gonna be heating up to the 300 degrees. But again, watch the other video if you guys haven't watched it already, and always test. So that's what we recommend doing. So let's go ahead and bring it here, and then it'll automatically close for 10 seconds is what we're pressing it at. 170 pounds, that is the highest setting. I don't know if that's actually the true pound. Let's go ahead and pull this up so that the bottom clears. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do another press again. Now, since it has a bunch of small details and letters and things like that, instead of hot peeling it, I'm actually going to cold peel it. You have a higher success rate, especially when you're dealing with all those little fine details. So let's go ahead and flip this around while the back cools. We're gonna make sure that the neck clears that so that there's no heat press lines. I'm satisfied with that position right there. So let's go ahead and press. And guys, I did notice that I did not use a Teflon sheet. If you have one, use one. But because I did use heat resistant tape, it's not going to move the transfer. It's actually going to be fine for what I'm doing. So I would recommend definitely doing so though in the future. Now that the front is pressed, let's go ahead and hit the neck. So here's a little trick. We're just going to slip this underneath right here. Right, let's go ahead and lay this neck tag here. All right, it's really easy. I love the tape. Makes life a lot easier not having to deal with it. So the trick here is you just pull this down like so. You kind of expose the neck area. You carefully hold it in place, bring it in. All right, now that it's cool, we're gonna go ahead and peel. So again, another tip, instead of pulling up on the transfer, I'm going to crack it sideways and I'm gonna pull back. So let me go ahead and give it another press. Again, I am testing this heat press out. I am noticing that some of the edging is not adhering as well because of the temperature, but I'm going to press it one more time just to make sure. All right, let's go ahead and flip this while it's cooling down. Work on the front. Look at that. Let's go ahead and use our matte finishing sheet. Do a second press. Look at that, it came out good. Okay, let's go ahead and do the back again. Gonna let it actually cool down a little bit longer. Again, the reason why I'm doing this is because you've got all these little tiny details. If you have a big solid print, then it's easier for you to peel off and everything adhere onto the shirt. But because of all these tiny camouflage looking prints, it makes it harder to get a complete piece out, especially the first peel. And again, I am testing this heat press out, so I just need to fine tweak it some more. But that's the reason why I'm doing these second presses that you normally would not have to do. Here's the sheet that I just transferred through. So everything did transfer all the way through. Look at that design. All right, let's take a quick look at it closely. And this is the finish. It's a bit shiny due to the way that the transfers are made. So in order to create more of a matted finish, we're gonna use our matte finishing sheet, the textured side. Look at that print. All right, let's go ahead and hit the neck tag. We'll finish it off there. So let's go to press it one more time. Now, what I would normally recommend doing is putting a heat press pillow underneath here. That way, this is gonna be flatter and you're gonna have a better surface to press at. Because right now, what you're dealing with here is you're dealing with this neck seam right here. This gives it an elevation, and so the top part right here is not gonna adhere as well as if you had a heat press pillow. So let's just go ahead and do a second press. We can use our matte sheet here, but I'm gonna show you what I'll do afterwards. Okay, that worked, but let me show you what I would recommend. So I would recommend getting one of these heat press pillow packs. You can get a 5-pack off of Amazon. I think it's like less than $20, different sizes here. This is the proper way to do it. All you need to do is put that pad right in the middle. It makes it nice and flat. So afterwards, you can just put any kind of padding on top of it or finishing sheet and then just finish it off with the press. Now when it squeezes flat, it is nice and flat so that you're gonna get even pressure all around, much better results. You're not gonna have edges that are gonna be lifting off.
So super easy to do, guys. I used the same design to create the same brand neck tag. You've got a pocket design like this. And of course, you've got a big back piece like this where it feels super lightweight because it's not very plasticky because it's knocked out. So all you see are those natural colors like the browns, the golds, the oranges, and there's no black because you use the shirt to get that black appearance, and you're still getting all the details there. So hope this video helped you guys out. Hope you guys learned a thing or two about Kittl and how easy it is to use. And if you guys need any DTF transfers, make sure you head over to our website. Order today, receive it at the end of the week. It's just that fast. My name is Phil. I'll catch you guys on the next one.